and you have to follow the timeline. Because you're uploading applications into a system, the system closes at the deadline, and so there's no opportunity to say, oh, I'm late, can you please take my application? It has to really follow the timeline. So you'll see here on this, it's page 2 at the bottom of the page, I've included the timeline for you. And it's a 2-step process for students. So beginning in November, so about a month from now, you will have an opportunity to register for this job fair. Registering means you go to this particular website, you fill out some information about yourself, you submit that information, you then have to upload a copy of your resume. And that's pretty much all you need. As far as I understand it, all you need to do initially. Then in December, you'll see there's something called Student Start Bids that happens on December 3rd. From December 3rd to January 3rd, you will have the opportunity to review the participating employers, look at the kinds of positions they're offering and the credentials that they're seeking, and decide if you want to apply to those employers. You can see what they want to see from you, what kind of documents they want you to provide. And you have from December 3rd to January 3rd to upload those documents into this online system. After December 3rd, the system closes, you cannot submit your materials. Now, if you haven't initially done that registration process, you will not be eligible to bid on the employers. So you need to first register in November, then submit applications in December. In January, the employers will receive your applications. They will make decisions about which students they wish to interview. The organizers will then set up interview schedules so that, because all of these interviews happen on Monday, and so they're trying to coordinate all the students and all the employers to make sure it can all happen on one day. And then they will contact you to say, congratulations, you have been selected for an interview with this law firm or this organization, and it's at this time. And hopefully they will give you knowledge of that, well, not much, about 10 days before, it looks like, for you to decide, do you want to purchase a plane ticket to get down to Los Angeles, or maybe you'd like to drive, or maybe you would like to just, if you can get a cheap fare, so take care of that without yet knowing whether or not you'll get an interview. Sometimes interviews open up on the spot when you're down there if there's a cancellation, and rather than have an interviewer sit all by him or herself for a half hour, they'd say, oh, well, you're a student, go talk to this organization. So sometimes opportunities will arise if you're there. They won't happen if you're not there. So that's something we can talk about as we get closer, whether it makes sense for you to commit to being in Los Angeles, even if you don't yet know if you received any interviews.
I do think there's going to be at least one group of folks that are going to be going down by carpool. Also, you can get airfare as cheap as like $39 each way, on some of these airlines, and plus also Amtrak and Greyhound on the bus and train offer like 15% student discount, so you can usually get pretty affordable transportation options from San Francisco to Los Angeles.
Yeah. And so you can, plan accordingly. If you come back on Saturday night, those are cheaper fares, or so you can scout it out and have enough notice now to keep your eye on that, or whether you want to drive or fly. So it's certainly worth looking into. The pages that follow this first page provide very detailed instructions on how to participate. So you'll see on page 3, this teaches you how to register. So it gives you the website, it tells you all the buttons you need to click on, all the links are right there, it gives you all the instructions. So that will be for that initial period. Then on the next page it describes the bidding process and how do you select the employers you wish to interview or wish to submit your applications to. And then finally it will tell you how to view your application status. How do you select your interview assignments? If the employers have said, we would like to interview you, you need to accept that and say, yes, I want to interview with that organization, and then they set up the schedule. So hang on to this. It has very detailed instructions. If you lose it, just let me know, and we'll have a copy we can send it your way. But I really want to make sure you don't miss that initial opportunity to sign up for it. You don't have to do a whole lot, but you do have to make that initial first step. So at this point, I will pause and see if there are any questions.
So first, we have to set up an appointment with you. We have to send you a letter, or
to do the job fair, or just to work with us generally?
To work with you generally.
To work with us generally. So first, what I would recommend is work with Margaret Arnold, or Margaret Green, I'm sorry, Margaret Green first, and work with her initially just to make sure that your materials are in good shape. It's also a way to check in terms of the requirements of your program. You know, can you earn units to work, or what does your schedule look like next semester? You know, to work out some of those administrative details. And then when Margaret says, yes, okay, it's time, you know, then you would just simply call Law Career Services. Our contact information is at the bottom of this document, and say, I'd like to schedule an appointment. And then you would come in and meet with us. You could bring what you have at that point in terms of a resume and a cover letter. We can review it with you and then plan the next steps from there.
Margaret Green's our Director of Graduate Law Programs. Her office is situated next door to mine. Oftentimes to get the ball rolling, you can send your current resume to her by email, and then she'll go ahead and start that process with you. So the sooner the better with that.
Any other questions?
I had a question in terms of you mentioned the one justice opportunity, and also that it was formerly known as public interest clearinghouse. There used to be some kind of, there was an AmeriCorps fellow that was around. Is that still an opportunity that exists for folks also on the pro bono side, or is there anything else out there that they should know about?
Yes, so if you go to that website, the lawstudentprobono.org website, you can sign up for the program, I believe. You can get a newsletter. There's a staff member there who is responsible for linking Golden Gate students with pro bono opportunities. And so that, if you sign up, that person will start sending you information about the different opportunities that are available. You might even reach out to him and let him know what your interests are. Sometimes they have a specific need for students with language skills, so that might be helpful to let them know if you speak languages other than English. It might be helpful for them to know maybe they're having a hard time finding attorneys and advocates who have that language ability, and that may be a real asset, depending on what the projects are. That would be the first place to go to. And then he is planning to come to campus, I think, on some sort of regular basis to have just a table and do office hours. So that will be, keep an eye on the lobby as you walk through, and you might occasionally see somebody here promoting the pro bono program. We're also doing an event on October 27th to promote pro bono and to encourage all law students and lawyers to do pro bono. And so we'll have a presentation with some of the folks who run the program. We'll also be showing a movie, and so it'll be a fun event and a nice way for you to learn more and help with that.
Working backwards in time, on the 18th, we're going to have our discussion on the New York and California bar exam led by Professor Burton. She's headed to New York as we speak to talk with John McAlery, who's the executive director of the New York bar, with regards to these bar admissions. So that's on the 18th. Next week, on the 11th, we're going to have Catherine Carey, who's one of the SJD candidates, also an attorney in Nevada and California, and she's going to be speaking about the Scottish Arbitration Center next week from 12 to 1. So some good stuff that's coming up. On the fun side, we're going to do a bowling event this Friday afternoon, which will also be a chance to meet people, network on a more informal level. So if you haven't signed up already, either send me an email or stop by and sign my door. We'll be going Friday for a couple hours, meeting out front at 2:45. So there's all kinds of stuff to do this month: bowling, Scottish arbitration, bar exam preparation, pro bono events, and then of course Halloween is a big fun celebration in San Francisco, and that'll be at the end of the month, 10/31. So lots to do, so little time. Send your email version of the cover letter resume to Margaret Green if you haven't already, to get the ball rolling, and make sure you get your accounts for LCS Online and sign up that sheet if you haven't done that already. Last but not least, in terms of people on F1 and J1 visas, the cardinal rule of immigration and employment is to get the authorization when? Before you start working. So always before. When do you get travel authorization? Before you travel. So if you work with me, I can help you do that. So we're very much a team, and as long as you continue to work with your academic advisor, your career advisor, and your immigration advisor, then you'll be in a you know, in a good position. That's the challenge. You have to exist in this triangle and continue to move forward. But you can do that. You can find interesting work. You can learn more about the legal field. You can get and give advice, and now is the time to start doing that process and take it to the next level. If you need other ideas and you're not quite ready to talk to attorneys yet, but are ready to talk to people, then also the World Affairs Council has its professional network for young people, and then the Commonwealth Club similarly offers international young professionals network. So there's our other two, you know, low-lying opportunities close by, places you can go to GGU, from GGU after you get out of classes and meet a lot of folks, you know, very quickly. A lot of interesting events, speakers from all over the world, including government officials and consular officials, things like that. Which one? Oh, the World Affairs Council is on Sutter Street, 316 Sutter, and the Commonwealth Club is just right around the corner at 2nd and Market Street, and both have very, very excellent websites. The World Affairs Council, WAC, and then the Commonwealth Club of California, both really excellent. And the neat thing about their international professional networking is that they also have language groups organized within that. So you can participate in a language group, or potentially you can take the initiative and start your own language group with an eye towards legal business practice, for example. So there's some great opportunities there, and I'm working with the university to actually have these folks come out and do a presentation for us in November when we do International Education Week in the second or third week in November. So we hope to have those folks out here to, you know, provide more opportunities. But you don't need to wait for them. Go to the website, World Affairs Council and Commonwealth Club, and you'll be amazed. One of our former colleagues, Ross Lawley, is the executive assistant for the CEO of the Commonwealth Club. And so I stay in touch with him. I have lunch with him regularly. And the last time we talked, he said that they have over 350 events each year at the Commonwealth Club. So almost every day they have a speaker coming through. And again, they're at high level government officials, CEOs, journalists, you know, internationally known folks you can learn a lot from and meet a lot of people while you're doing it. And it's right around the corner. So there's always more, and we're always happy to put you in touch with that. So these are ideas, the starting point, you know, and that's what we're trying to do, help you get out there, and the sooner the better. It'll help you build confidence, especially when you get to that point where you're helping clients solve real world problems. There's really nothing else that can compare to that in my view. So that's what we're committed to helping you do. And if you have questions, come by here, drop in advising in the afternoons. We're here for you.
Thanks for coming.